Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the HattersChatters podcast. Apologies for the lack of episodes over the past 3 weeks. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, we've only been able to upload this podcast, recorded after the Bromley game, now. Thanks for your support as always, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the HattersChatters podcast in association with HattersMatters. I am joined today by Kieran and Frank making returns to the podcast with Ben McCoy taking a break. Let's kick things off with kick-off last week, Yeovil in the FA Cup, where some may argue we were perhaps slightly fortuitous to get into the next round. Would you agree with that, Frank? Slightly fortuitous?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, you know, from the sounds of it, we played a game where we were pretty lucky, really. I say lucky, you know, after not playing for three and a half weeks even. I mean, the last time we played in the National League up today, I think, was Halloween. So we hadn't played for ages coming up to that. And I think what really tops off the win is Connor Jennings getting his first goal for the club. Because I feel like it was taking a while to settle. And you know what? Maybe now, he could go now and have some absolutely terrible games in the next 5 games. But I doubt that very much. I feel like hopefully in the next few games he's going to come out, and that performance against Yeovil will inspire his next few games, hopefully.
Beautiful. Kieran, what are your thoughts on Yeovil last week?
To say we were fortuitous, maybe, but I also think we definitely deserved to beat Yeovil. I mean, you look at what they created, really. Obviously, I know they scored twice, had a penalty, but I'm biased, obviously, but I watched that penalty shout again. No, don't think it's a penalty at all. So if they had scored from that, I would have said we were very unlucky to go out. But then also we've had our fair share of luck in the FA Cup, considering we did sort of get knocked out in the fourth qualifying round, and then Chesterfield sort of made a bit of a boo-boo. But yeah, I think we were the better team against Yeovil. You couldn't really tell that we hadn't played in 3.5 weeks. You couldn't really tell that because we looked strong. We started to tire at the end, but then players are trained for 90 minutes. 120 is always gonna tire them out. And yeah, just very, as Frank said, very glad Connor got his goal, because as much as he's been very good, you can tell he's needed a goal just to get himself sort of up and going. And then if you watched him today, I thought, which we'll get onto later, I thought it was excellent again, which sort of just shows how much a goal can do for someone's confidence.
Yeah, completely agree. I would say we were slightly... It's weird because I don't think it was a pen, but we were lucky that Ben saved the pen, although it didn't look like that number 6 had a lot of technique in his locker, because from the way he ran, from the way he did his run-up, I think it was fairly obvious that he was going to go pens left. I mean, I'm a keeper, I'd have gone from his body language, I'd have gone the same way.
I've done the same as well.
That's a bit of trouble as well between Warby and the striker.
Yeah, I heard
I don't think that there was much of an argument going on. I don't think that Warby put up much of an argument with him, but I think at the same time, you've just scored against your old club. You're going into a penalty, and you've got to think there. You're the player you played at a higher level. You've got to think, really, I'm taking this penalty. And that's not me saying to Warby, you should have taken a penalty. I'm not. It's not a criticism of him, but when the teams. Well, I think in the last podcast we talked about Yeovil, and we talked about how maybe Yeovil will be coming in up and firing and really want to beat us. And yeah, we saw that a bit, but Yeovil should be coming to us, and they shouldn't be arguing. They should be a team. They've all got the same thing that they want to do: get to the FA Cup third round, and they would have got West Ham. if they'd worked together. So when players are arguing like that, if I was a Yeovil fan, I'd be fuming personally.
And well, we had Ben on Twitter saying that my Warburton was meant to take it as well. Like that's confirmed by Matty. So I think
it's a weird one because I listened to their manager's interview and he said it was always going to be the number 6 who did take the pen. So who's lying? Who's telling porkies? You know what I mean? Who is it? Is Sar lying to keep his, to keep his job intact?
I would guess so.
I believe the players. I mean, a leader is always going to try to make it out that everyone that he's supposed to be organising is in harmony with each other, when in reality, it seems like they're almost certainly not.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, on that performance last week, I don't think it was particularly great, but we got over the line, if you know what I mean. It was annoying to concede after 1 minute, but I think that may have just had the 3-week break on us, Warby especially scoring. The equaliser, great feat from Croasdale, if you remember, and a great pen by Rooney. Switched it up, put it down the middle. Keeper obviously did his research because he went the way that John Rooney normally goes. Second goal corner, I can imagine Jim Gannon would have been furious with that. He don't like conceding from set plays. What was the equaliser? Ash Palmer.
Yeah.
Was onside, definitely onside.
It's a wonder goal. Don't know what you're on about. 30 yards out.
Tapping from on the line.
Scruffy, but I'll take that any day. You know.
In it. Up stat pad. Is it stat pad? I think that's
stat padding. Yeah.
Stat pad Ash, because that's like what 13.
I like that.
That's like 13 goals in just over 100 games for a centre back. That's pretty good, I think.
Very, very good.
Pretty good. That'll do me nicely.
Yeah.
And then obviously the winner, fantastic cross by Jamie Stott.
Oh, superb cross.
A Connor diving header, limbs in my front room. Great stuff to see. And West Ham as a bit of a reward. Woo! I'll be having that. Issue is probably the only time in my life I will ever see a 11k full EP.
Oh.
We won't be able to see it unless things change.
I feel no, I'm not a government representative by any means. I think that the people listening to or watching the podcast, which is available on YouTube, Spotify, and multiple other services, just to include that in. In fact, if you're watching it or listening to it now, you're probably listening on one of those things, funnily enough. But what I was going to say is that if I seem to have forgotten what I was going to say.
Oh, that's incredible.
You're saying about government representative.
You weren't the government.
Yeah, I'm right. There we go. I'm not sorry to the listeners there. It's not a regular occurrence. We're a professional podcast. So yeah, I think by the sounds of it, Andy Burnham wants us to go into Tier 2 on the 16th of December when the next review day is. And I think that when you look at the cases going down, momentum's going our way. I mean, we were already lower in cases in the rest of Greater Manchester. And now that the rest of the country is also going down, fingers crossed they'll let fans... Because, I was thinking before they let fans in this week, 2,000 fans, will it really be that good? But in all honesty, I was watching the highlights of the Brentford game before, and just hearing the fans it'd be so good if we were let in. It'd be marvellous.
Brentford game, what, Gianluca Harven scoring? Is that the game?
I think so.
Brentford. I can't imagine that they're top of the championship.
It's incredible to think where they were when...
That's because they've run that club right. That's because they've run the club very correctly.
I mean, to look at Brighton as another example. I remember about roughly 10, 12 years ago and went to Brighton last day of the season away. They were, if we'd beat them, they would have possibly got relegated from League One down into League Two. Now they're a solid Premiership team,
Yeah.
Shows how a well-run club.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think. I mean, I haven't talked to any Brentford fans personally, but from the looks of it, on the pitch, looking at the new ground they've got, not much has been put wrong by their owner. just seeing that's where we want to be. I think that's obviously, trying to get into the Premier League, maybe not. But certainly getting to the Championship and being a stable team, I think that's Mark Stott's vision, and that'd be so.
What I'll say about Brentford is that they've actually reduced their stadium capacity compared to Griffin Park, and it's all. I can't remember the reasoning behind it, but I don't know the reasoning behind it. But they're putting the money towards finding foreign talent, which is what they're incredibly good at, which is a credit to them. Yeah. But anyhow, West Ham. Yeah, sorry, back to West Ham. Do you reckon we've got a chance?
Easy.
I think we've got. I don't think we'll win, but I think we'll certainly give them a game. I feel like we would have had a better chance if we could have had, like you were saying, like full capacity edge of the box. Because I don't know if either of you
we push them forward. We
were old enough to go at the time, but I remember us having a sellout against Carlisle when we nearly got relegated to the conference.
Oh yeah,
a very long time ago. But and you just felt like the atmosphere was absolutely incredible, even though obviously we'd lost and we got relegated, one of them, but we didn't, so it's fine. They went up as champions, we stayed up, it was all good. But the atmosphere adds so much to a game, and especially for us, because we are, and obviously we're not the biggest team ever, but we've certainly got great fans, and I mean, you kind of have to be a great fan to stick around with us when we're playing in the National League North.
Yeah.
So having the fans there will be a huge help if the government obviously lets them.
Yeah. Well, we're pushing forward, and I'd expect similar performances to Rochdale and Bromley today, where we'd probably have little of the ball and it'd just be backs to the walls. But I feel like when that's our scenario, that's normally when we thrive. I know Wrexham, Bromley, and Rochdale are all completely different. Or West Ham, who'll probably play Sebastian Haller maybe, or Jared Bowen, or Yarmolenko, or just someone of that Premier League quality, but backs to the wall, get Keno man marking Jared Bowen, and I've got a lot of faith in that personally. Keno marked one of the newbies out of the game, but I back Keno.
I agree with that. I'd do that. I'll take the game to them. My score prediction, I'll put it on the table now. I can imagine it being maybe 4 or 5-2. But I think that we will, because I think we will score goals. They're starting a few young players, presumably. It's on January the 9th. We're thinking a bit ahead here, obviously. But, say you've got 2,000 fans in the grounds. I honestly feel that John Rooney's he's on double figures already at this stage in the season. Yeah. I feel like he's got the ability to score against them. I've got a theory with goalkeepers. I feel like Ben Hinchliffe could play in the Premier League. I'm not joking. I'm honestly not joking. Who would you rather have in the team at the moment, Ben Hinchliffe or Jordan Pickford? I'd pick Ben Hinchliffe any day of the week.
Jordan Pickford is also a bad example, but I get your point.
Yeah.
That's a very that's a very far out claim, which I probably would deny. I'd probably disagree with it. Although, no, Ben has featured in a Premier League match once. Well, I say featured, he was on the bench and he didn't play, but it was during Derby's 11-point season. I think we lost 6-0 Liverpool, either home or away or both. It was one of them. He's been on the bench, so I can't knock him. I can't knock him.
I do feel like some of our players though have maybe saying the ability. I don't think that Jordan Keane is going to be taking anyone's position at Liverpool, or any of the top 6 for that matter. No disrespect to Jordan Keane, because he's been absolutely immense the past few games. However, I do feel as though we can take that. That was my point initially. I feel as though we can certainly take the game to them. Defend, backs to the wall, stuff like that. To be honest, whatever Jim picks to do, he's an experienced manager. Whichever game he chooses to play against them, let's just enjoy it.
My worry is with West Ham doing fairly well at the minute. So obviously they lost to United the day we're recording this, but they're still 7th in the Prem, and with the bottom 4 or 5 looking how they are, I think West Ham are pretty much safe. honestly.
Europe.
So my worry is for the FA Cup, like Moyes might think, right, we've got a good chance of winning this. Let's try and get to the semis and then puts out a ridiculous. Because if they put out a full strength team, as much as I love our team, we will get battered.
Well, I don't know, because I think Moisey, it depends who West Ham have got around there, because there's no way Moisey would put out a full strength team against us. I think whatever team he puts out against us, I think we'll lose 2-0 to, whether it be youth or that. Because what we'll do is we'll work heavy on set pieces, probably. That's what we'd probably do. We'd work heavy on set pieces. But I still think we'd probably lose 2-0 or 2-1. But I cannot see, because it wouldn't make sense for Moisey to put out a full strength side against a Vanarama National League team who would have just played Tuesday, Saturday all the way through December. I can't see that happening under no circumstance.
I hope not.
I hope not. I don't know. He surely can't. Moisey, I mean, put it this way: if he puts out a full strength team, I'd consider it a mark of respect. Because that was worried about us.
Stott's back as well. Stott and Palmer.
They'll be back by then.
They should be. As long as Stott doesn't get any more nickels before then, I think we should be. Because I mean, they're not essential. You know, we managed to keep a clean sheet today without them, which is credit to the depth of our squad. But we'd rather have Palmer and Stott in your team than not.
Yeah, I'd rather even just have the option to have them is always good. I think I'll probably be back in a week or two. Like from what
I agree.
Saying, doesn't seem like the long-term interest. So
just before I want to get on Bromley, Niall Bell has departed on loan to Halifax Town, where he scored. He hit the bar on his debut and he scored at the Shea in their 5-2 win over Barnet midweek, I want to say. I think we called in either podcast 1 or podcast 2. I think we said that we wanted Niall out on loan, so now we've got it.
Yeah.
How do we reckon he'll fare there? I think it's a season-long loan. He's already got 1 goal. How many goals do we reckon he'll?
Not only short term.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a more short-term one.
I think it would depend. No. I think it would depend on when Britain's expires, and Britain's is in January.
I think Britain's is in January. Well, the thing is, if there's probably the option there to make it a season. I think for now, the idea is Britain will stay with us till January roughly, and then they'll come back, I assume, unless someone else is signed or Britain.
Yeah. See, Britain has a hard job because I noticed in the Chesterfield game, it was in the which game was it?
The Rochdale game.
It might have been Rochdale. Rochdale, and today he comes on with 15 minutes left to chase dead balls, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He gets nothing, if you know what I mean. And I find it like not fair on him because I want to see what he can do as a footballer as opposed to someone just to see the game up. But I understand Jim's tactical decision. I'd rather play Richie Bennett than Louis Britton. I'm not going to lie. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a thankless task for him, isn't it? But then it's also, at the minute, can you really drop Richie Bennett when he's so
he's
fantastic. And then Reed's got 3 and 4 games. You're not dropping a striker who scored 3 and 4 games, even if.
Well, they took him off at half time today. But
but that would have been a tactical decision.
Obviously.
But you could see the way the game was going. He was always going to make that decision. But the thing is, I was sitting there and I was calling for Thomas to go off a minute and come on, but I completely forgot a Jimism, which is he doesn't make straightforward subs. He doesn't do it. He doesn't. He changed the whole dynamic. He went from a 3-4-1-2 to a 4-2-3-1. Kitchen went from winger to left back. James Jennings went from left centre back to left centre back as well. But you know what I mean.
I honestly couldn't tell what formation we were playing in the second half for most of it. Because it seemed to be sort of like a 4-4-1-1 at times. But then Thomas at times was so deep. Yeah. And then both Kitchen and Jennings were also quite deep. But at the end of the day, who cares? Jim knows what he's doing, and we won. So
well,
I feel like Jim sometimes plays players but by not because of positions, but the way that they can play. And I feel as though he sees Thomas as a player who can both attack and get back at the same time. And I think that Thomas sees it. This is my idea. I think that Thomas sees what Jim thinks of him, which is not a utility player, he's better than that, but a player who can go and attack, run down the wing, and then straight after that go back and defend. So I think that maybe it looks sometimes like Thomas is playing defensively, but I think it's down to the pattern of play as well. Whenever we're playing defensively as a team, Thomas, you can bet, will be playing defensively, and if we're playing attacking, he'll be going down the line and putting the crosses in.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people that have issues with Thomas for not getting his crosses in, but that is not his purpose. His purpose is to win a corner. His purpose is to win a free kick. If the ball comes in, it'll get cleared away. You may as well get the corner. You know what I mean? I can't think of one instance since he has joined where we have scored from an Adam Thomas cross. I think the only one that serves memory is Barnet away, our equaliser. Thomas puts a ball in, I think it's him. Mulhern holds their defender off and Osborne finishes. That's the only time anything like that. That's not his job. But right, let's go into Bromley, but in a more chronological order. The team lineup today was somewhat interesting, but as you mentioned, Ash Palmer and Jamie Stott were absent. James Jennings, I was buzzing to see him today. New trim, new player. Absolutely, I'm just so happy to see him play. I thought he was fantastic. I don't know about you. Did you think? You all right?
Yeah, I was quite happy to see him play. He's not played as much as we might have thought this season, because I know he's had a couple of niggling injuries, and obviously Kitchen, who is pretty much his positional rival, has been absolutely excellent and pretty much undroppable.
Frank, thoughts?
I think I agree with you, Alex. I think that James, at the first half of the season so far, he was brilliant, James Jennings. And then I think he got an injury, didn't he? It wasn't too big of an injury, but he did get an injury. And since then, well, obviously he hasn't been playing. And I mean, hoping for ages it's going to come in. And it's hard for him for obvious reasons, because Kitching comes in and he's been absolutely unplayable. Kitching against Chesterfield, what a performance from him there. I mean, he said in his post-match interview that he thought it was the best goal that he's ever scored. So I think Kitching for the past few games has been a man in form. And it's nothing that he's done wrong that James Jennings come and say. He started anyway, didn't he, Kitching? He started anyway. So shows we can still use both at the same time. But no, I really like James Jennings as a player.
Yeah. Jack Riley called him his player of his signing of the summer, I think, which it now seems to be more understandable. I did doubt it because he'd obviously played Dover, and that was probably it. So yeah, pretty good shift from James. Pleased to see. The midfield trinity though is what really I love to see. Maynard, Rooney, and Jennings. That was fun. I don't know about you, but that was fantastic today. Maynard, he'd win the ball. Whenever the ball would be cleared, Rooney would just be there. Rooney would be in the right position for the second goal. He was in the right position. When the ball was bouncing around our edge of the penalty area, we'd hook it clear half, and Rooney would be there. He'd win the ball. He'd get it gone. Jennings he just looked so good. Numbers wise, Jennings hasn't been great, but he's just been great. The numbers say he hasn't, but the performances say he has, and I was so happy to see that midfield three. I've got no more words. I don't know about you, but any thoughts on that midfield, gentlemen?
I just think for Connor, it's not even just about working hard, because I know for sometimes we say about Thomas, he may not be a skillful player, but he works hard. And don't get me wrong, I think he does his job perfectly, and Connor Jennings isn't doing the same job as Thomas. He's playing in a different position. But when Connor Jennings plays, it would be easy to say now, he's trying really hard. That's the best thing. It's not the numbers, it's the fact he's tried. But I don't think that's the thing to say, because you see him with the ball and he's got vision. He knows what to do with it. You see Lewis Maynard win the ball in the midfield, and then he turns straight away, the acceleration, the power. No one can win the ball off him. It's like a HGV running down the pitch. It's brilliant. He cuts in, he plays it to John Rooney, and John Rooney comes in, he uses his skill, and then he plays it in for Connor Jennings. He's got the vision, he sees the passes to play. I think it's really, really good. I love the way we're playing at the moment, especially Connor Jennings, as I just said there.
Yeah, I agree with Connor Jennings. He's such a good player. You can see why, obviously, in recent years, he's obviously been playing for Tranmere, who are in the league, because he is a level above like most players at this level. Then I also think what's so great about the midfield trio, like as you've been saying, Maynard just does all the dirty work. Like, I know it's not dirty; he's a clean player, but he does all like the gritty work. He'll get the ball. He'll play a nice simple pass. But then, cause Rooney knows he's got that security of Maynard being there, Rooney can just bomb forward, and obviously
Yeah.
I've seen it pay dividends so much this year from central midfield or depending on what formation playing, either centre mid or the number 10 role. He's got 10 goals already. Like if our strikers had that many, we'd be saying that's amazing. But he's not even a striker. He's got 10 goals already.
Yeah. Well, Jim made a comment. Jim wants to play him in the 10, but Rooney don't want to. You know what I mean? Rooney don't like playing in the 10. He's happy playing deeper. And to have 10 goals already, that's something else. That's just puts a smile on your face. Considering last season our top goal scorer was Osborne with 9.
Yeah.
Already beaten it. We've already beaten it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I have to agree with Rooney, honestly, because I feel like if we play him at a 10, then where do you play Jennings? But because Jennings is very creative, but Rooney, I don't know if you both noticed, is so good at just coming from deep and like he's very rarely picked up, which is surprising. I feel like if I were a team in our league, I'd have someone pretty much man marking him. But like today, he just came into the box completely unmarked, and then we know he can score those. So if you have him deeper, he come in, no marking, score goals. It's easy.
Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like a relay race. You know, Lewis wins the ball, plays it. You know, Rooney just in front. Sorry, by the way, Jim, if I've definitely got all this completely wrong. So I'm not a tactician. But you know, Rooney wins the ball, and the way he runs, you know, it's as you say, Kieran, it's a beauty to watch. And yeah, I just, if this is how we're playing, you know, what would this be the equivalent of if we'd started in August?
Probably early October, maybe.
Yeah. So if this is
probably not even that, honestly.
Probably September. But if this is how we're playing, only played about 10 National League games, I think now. I cannot wait to see how we're playing. You know, over Christmas, playing Wrexham. Got some really tough games. Wrexham's going to be hard. Hopefully, we're back in for them. That'd be great. But I can't wait to see this team develop. Honestly.
Yeah, completely agree.
I would say today was a hard game. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, first half it was a bit backs to the wall. We got a goal, and then the chances they came quite heavy for them. I mean, I think that nearly cost us a goal. No, one thing that I'll just let me. So for me, the first thing that annoyed me this game was we had 2 corners, both marked Kitchen. Both were rubbish. They broke, and they should have scored if it weren't for Ben. That annoyed me. And then what happened? We learned because then Rooney went over and took the corner from that side, so that really frustrated me. There was another thing. Ben nearly cost us a goal where he came flying out. The ball went past him. Hogan slips. He somehow makes a tackle whilst he's on the floor. Ball breaks, and then James Jennings is there, cleared away, and oh my god, it was just.
That was
orthodox, but the best. It was I remember saying it was the best, worst defending I think I'd ever seen in my life, because it was shocking, but we didn't concede. It was incredible. And then there was right at the end of the first half where it was cheeky. He literally missed an open goal, but I think it was hard for him to score. I think it came with a lot of power, and he wasn't really prepared for it. So that first half, I was just so angry. I was happy that we were winning, but we was just defensively a mess, and then we just solidified it. We solidified it in such a phenomenal way. It was the county of Wrexham, the county of Rochdale, where any ball in the box is headed away, it's kicked away, and then Rooney will pick it up and go. It's just defended so well. The closest chance they had in that second half was that rocket from 30 yards, which should have been in right at the end of the game. But another thing that annoyed me. Neil Smith's comments, their manager, of this was a smash and grab. I don't know about you.
I saw that.
I completely disagree with that.
I slightly disagree, but I also do see where he's coming from. I mean, on another day, we would probably take a point and with the performance, be happy with a point. I mean, you look at the chances they missed, you know, hit the post with that absolute rocket of a shot. You know, they had like one cleared off the line, they had a few breakaways.
Our first goal as well.
Ben just clawed it away from their striker, missed a sitter from 2 yards. I think on another day, we could have drawn that. But it's as I don't know, I can't remember who said it, but that's the sort of, I think it was Sam Byrne on Twitter said he heard it someone say it for the radio. That's the sort of win of champions, you know. We played well, but we weren't at our best. Went to a very strong Bromley side, who I think
they'll beat in 6.
Yeah, they'll be up there at the end of the season. Yeah. And we've gone away to them. We've got a 2-0 win. You know, what more could you ask for?
Yeah. The smash and grab comment, I do see where he's coming, but I think if you'd have watched the game against Rochdale, watched our previous games last season, like Wrexham, like the Bromley game before, it isn't a smash and grab, it's just the way we defend. You know what I mean?
And we were clinical as well. Like, if they've been clinical, you know, they may have got a point.
I genuinely think I counted 3 shots that game, maybe 4, and the 2 goals, one of which wasn't even a shot, and Jennings hitting the post.
And Reed missed a bit of a sitter.
Oh yeah, Reed's chance, but that was about it, I'd say. And that was enough. That was all we needed, and it's just, I don't know, I was just so happy to see it.
Just need the goals.
Yeah, give us some more goals. That's what we can ask for. Get the clean sheet, just entertain us, yeah.
What I'd say...
It's entertaining enough anyway.
Yeah. What I'd say about it is that I wouldn't describe it as a smash and grab. As I say, I see where he's coming from, but I'd call it, okay, yeah, if you were to dissect that expression, say that smash is the goal and the grab has taken away the 3 points, then, yeah, you know what, we scored 2 goals. But I wouldn't say that we grabbed it. It's not like we've gone in there and we've nicked something. You know, we've floated comfortably on the surface of that 2-goal cushion to make it sound quite literate.
Yeah.
You know, for the remaining, what was it, 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
60 minutes he scored.
So I think, you know, you can say what you like about smash and grab. Usually, you know, it doesn't really matter how you describe a match anyway, because if you get the win, you get the win. But especially with this, you know, the players know exactly what they're doing. Jim knows exactly what he's doing. It's not. A smash and grab makes it sound like it's accidental, and it's nothing like that at all.
Yeah. I'd just like to make one comment on that, and I wouldn't call it calling someone out, but there was someone on the message board that I'm not happy with, the yellow board, and he said Jim's lost it because of the way we were playing. If he had seen any of our previous games, he knows that is exactly the way we play football when we defend. You do not say Jim's lost the dressing room because of the way we defended, because in that second half, boy, did we defend. That just annoyed me because it's a stupid comment to say Jim's lost it. How can you say he's lost it? We've just beaten League One Rochdale. This is how we defend. I mean, just that comment annoyed me. It's how we defend.
A little bit.
In the second half, we just head, we kick, we get it away, we break, we go on the counter, we move. That's us. That's how we defend. Wrexham away tells you that. Bromley at home last season tells you that. Bromley away this season tells you that. Rochdale away this season tells you that. It's just Yeovil away in the FA Cup tells you that. Backs to the wall, kick the ball, head the ball, get the ball away, get it down the other end, and we go again. That's exactly how we've defended, and that's exactly how we've won, basically, how we won every single one of the games that I just listed.
And it's completely measured as well. It's I feel as though, you know, you look at Ash Palmer booting the ball away. I'm pretty sure that Ash Palmer is, you know, he's not a player. He's not me. Not that I can kick the ball away anyway. But you know, he's not a 16-year-old player who doesn't really know how to play football, just boots it away and doesn't know what's going to happen with it. Jim's, you know, now that full time, Jim will have taught those players, they'll have been prepared in the week, knowing about the opposition, where there's going to be space on the pitch, you know, where is going to be space to attack for Con Jennings, for Rooney, for Maynard, etc. And I feel as though when they're boosting away, when we're heading away like that, we know the system. Get outside the box, and then we go again.
Yeah.
So I never. Sometimes when I'm watching us, back to the walls, you could say, and it's sort of defending. It does make me pretty terrified. Not gonna lie.
I think it makes everyone pretty.
Yeah, it does.
Not good for the old heart, but
yeah, it's not good for the heart.
I'm glad that I'm reasonably young at the moment.
yeah.
But once that clock stops ticking and we've got the 3 points, I'm not. If we're holding on at the end, then maybe. But we've pretty comfortably won that. So
yeah. I mean, I'd just like to say, I think there's one game this season where just Torquay rings a bell where we've been the dominant side at all game, going forward, and we've conceded 1 goal. That. I'd rather us have 2 goals and defend like we do, like that, every single game, than have us look like scoring 5 and concede 1 right at the death. So if
they have 20 shots, they have 20 shots, we have 1, and we win. I don't care. We could. It probably isn't sustainable long term, but the 3 points is more important than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
100% agree with that. Now, speaking of our goals, I'd like to discuss this topic: shushing. What do we make of it? Because Danny Lloyd was pretty infamous for doing it. When Danny Rowe did it to the Cheadle end in that trophy game, everyone.
Reed did it to the Cheadle end, didn't they?
Yeah, Reed. They all did it. They all did it. So is it acceptable that people go, "Oh, we don't care. We don't care." But when someone does it to us, we'll kick off. E.g., 2 men will go on the pitch and offer out someone for a fight. Offer out Danny Rowe for a fight. Which personally, I mean, I don't like Danny Rowe, but I don't think I'd want to fight him in a scrap.
No, it's hilarious. Also, it's
especially in front of 5,000 fans who don't really want you to have a scrap.
No one's there to pay to watch you fight someone.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't back shushing, but Rooney is the type of character I'd get to shush, and I've learned that Alex Reid is also the type of guy who would shush, and that is probably it in this team. Maybe Jamie Stott as well, although Jamie doesn't score many goals for County.
It's a tough one because I understand you want. I don't necessarily like the shushing, but it's very indicative of the characters, I guess, of them. It just shows that will. Yeah. It's that will to win.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd rather us get some people why are they shushing us? I'd rather that and have the players that doing it than losing and be like, oh well, at least we didn't shush anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And look, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, when you've got 2,000 Bromley fans in there and no County fans whatsoever, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 stuck in.
Apparently there was quite a few. Where did I hear it? I think apparently there was quite a few as in London-based ones. So, I'll take it.
I thought you were gonna snitch on some people travelling. I was like saying no.
No, it's all right in the London conurbation. But I feel as though if you play, the vast 99.8% probably Bromley fans in that ground today. Who wasn't really? There were no players. I'm not condoning it or agreeing with it. I don't want to put the podcast in any risk whatsoever. But not that it would be. Don't want to sue us. But when you've got, as I say, but I don't need to repeat myself. When you have that many fans there and you're shushing them, and as well, I don't think that Rooney's the most liked player on the pitch anyway by most players. What game was it where a player called him a certain expletive and was quite audible over the airwaves? I'm not sure.
I don't think I caught that.
It was
I can believe it though. I can definitely believe it.
Yeah. Rooney was kind of, I think Rooney went to a slide tackle, and then the player goes, I'm not sure who it was now, and then the player goes up to him and gets pretty annoyed at him, let's say.
words were exchanged.
Yeah, words were exchanged. Certain words were exchanged. Yeah. But yeah, so I can completely understand when Rooney and Mark Hitching did that today.
Yeah. Now to the future, boys. Barnet and Sutton coming up. The beginning of our Tuesday, Saturday throughout December. Barnet, what are we thinking? Barnet's slightly on the turmoil. Picked up a point against Wealdstone today. Should beat them. I think we're probably in agreement with that.
Yeah, but then it's also, this is a sort of game that, like, you think, yeah, this is an easy win, then we go and lose. Like,
I wouldn't call it an easy win, but
it's a winnable game.
We should win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans would be.
I mean, Barnet, if you look at them right now, are 20th in the table. All the teams below them have got games in hand on them, so you think, really, we should be probably picking up points, the 3 points there. Yeah. But I also don't want to disrespect them because
I don't think with our team and with our class we should beat them. But again, it would be classic county for us not, if you know what.
Yeah, definitely. It does worry me.
Yeah.
Just the idea of Barnet. I've got bad memories of haven't really got bad memories of Barnet. Actually, the away day in 2018 was brilliant. But as a team playing, they're very, very physical. And this season it hasn't really benefited them that much. They're 20th in the table, as you say. But it would be typical county. It's becoming less.
Someone in the FA Cup, though, didn't they? Did they beat someone? I thought they beat a league team in the FA Cup.
They might have done. They might have done, actually.
Well, they played MP Dons, but they lost to MP.
Beat Burton.
Beat
Burton.
Yeah.
Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
With 10 men as well.
And they got to play Brentford last season, I'm pretty sure. In the FA Cup.
Might have done. To beat or something? Yeah. No, the year we lost them, they went and played Sheffield United and beat them.
Right.
But I think there's been a lot of change.
Sheffield United on my window, so.
Yeah.
All right. I think there's been a lot of change at Barnet because I'm pretty sure they're in financial difficulty. Yeah,
it's very weird at Barnet. They're in they're definitely in financial difficulty, but it confuses me because their ground, I don't think they own their grounds, despite the fact it's really modern. It's owned by them and London Bees, who are the rugby team in that area, and they're also owned by another construction company. But I saw plans a few months ago for huge developments, to expand it to, say, 25,000, I think it was. And I was pretty confused. How is this happening when Barnet could not be a club tomorrow? Because that was the severity of the situation. Yeah. I think we're a bit safer now, but I mean, I can believe that they're in financial difficulty. I don't think it's because of the attendances. I think it's because of presumably bad management of the club financially. But Barnet are an exact example of why I'd never like County to move away from Edgeley Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I love that away end that they've got. Maybe love is a bit of an exaggeration. I like it. It's quite nice. But I'd rather go to Dulwich Hamlet, right beside the Thames. For example, if we're talking about non-league clubs here. They're in the middle of a housing estate. They're not even in Barnet. They're in they're nearer to Boreham Wood than Barnet, I think. So
yeah,
it's a funny one with Barnet, I suppose.
Yeah, we should beat them, and it would be concerning if we don't. But it'd be classic County if we didn't beat them.
Yeah.
Saturday's opponents, Sutton, they're on a hell of a run. They've beaten Solihull Moors today 4-1
as well.
Quite comfortably they beat the Moors.
Wow.
Will probably be a tough game. I want to say they're third, but don't quote me on that.
No, they are second.
Oh, wow.
Sutton are pretty much at the minute the only team even close to Torquay.
Wow.
Torquay on 28, Sutton 26, Notts County the nearest on 20.
This will be a hell of a game then. And it also looks like, from a county perspective, that we'll be playing Chase with Torquay, like we did play Chase with Chester. With Chorley. With Chorley, yeah. And we know how that went. So
yeah. Oh.
I think playing Chase benefits us because every time we went top in that 18-19 season, we lost apart from the final day.
Yeah. It does. Yeah, it does. when I look at that league table, saying how many points are we now off Torquay? Quite.
We're a lot. We
We're
literally
12 points
to get
behind.
anywhere near them, we have to win all our games in hand, and we'd still be 2 behind them.
And it's so weird as well, because it seems to. I'm really confused about how it's benefited them, because we were top of the league, weren't we, before we played Rochdale in the FA Cup?
I think we were third. I think.
We've not been top this season, I don't think.
No, we have been top. I think. Yeah, we've been top.
Okay.
I don't think we have. I don't think we have.
If we've been top, it'll have been after Dover.
When we lost to Weymouth, which is the game before it, we were second at the time. We were 5 points off Torquay though. But then obviously at that time everyone had games in hand on us.
Yeah.
Like Sutton had 2 in hand on us. Eastleigh, Hartlepool, Solihull all did.
We've got to play catch up.
We've got the games in hand.
We've beaten Bromley. I'm hoping we'll beat Barnet. I'm hoping we'll beat, and then I think with this little bit of form, hopefully we can beat Sutton and put ourselves back in there, which would be the ultimate.
But then if we do win those 2 games, realistically, we're pretty much back up in the title chase. I mean, I know obviously Torquay are a bit far away at the minute, but we'd certainly be in the playoff.
Yeah. We're in the playoffs. It's very intimidating looking at that league table at the moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the league table's just numbers at the end of the day. Without that 3-week gap, I think we'd be nearer to the top now. And if we played Torquay tomorrow, who are top of the league, supposedly the best team in the league, I think we'd win. I'd win, say 3-4-1. I think that we're a way better team than Torquay. I don't want to sound
arrogant.
Arrogant or naive or anything like that. But I do think that we've got better depth than Torquay. We've got, we've got a midfielder who's already on double figures this season. We've got Alex Reid who's in form. So at the moment, I think that we're still the best team in the league.
Yeah, first game of the season, we were the better side.
Yeah,
we were. But the one thing they've got, which I don't think we've got yet, is the most never say die attitude I think I've ever seen, because they've already scored something like 6 goals after 85 minutes, and that must have got them all.
That used to be our trick, didn't it, for the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, that used to be us, but I'm sure we'll find it.
Yeah,
I'm confident we'll find it. I mean, Chesterfield 2-1 in the league.
Chesterfield, Alex Reid got very late, didn't they?
But yeah, no, I'm still confident. I'm not as confident, but I think we can still do it. I'd be happy with the top 3 finish personally.
Yeah, I think we're certainly good enough to get in the top 3. But then it's also obviously the playoffs are, I know it's a cliche phrase, playoffs are a lottery. Like you could be Wrexham a few years ago, end up with 98 points.
Oh yeah, I saw
go
that.
Up through the playoffs. They were so far and away better than every other team except the champions, who I think was Fleetwood.
It was either Cheltenham or Forest Green, wasn't it?
I can't remember who it was exactly, but whoever they were so by and away better than every other team in the league except the champions. But get to the playoffs, you don't win them.
I mean, that was the same with who was it? I want to say Blythe, but I'm not sure. There was a team in the Northern Premier League a few seasons ago who got 101 points and lost in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
I want to say that was Blythe,
I don't think it's Blythe.
You'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd almost want to ask for Saturday, not to name last season in the Premier League.
Yeah. Anyhow, I think that's all we've got. Has anyone else got any additional comments?
I've got a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, what do you think of because it came up, I don't know if it came from your feeds recently, it came from my feed, Kings Lynn charging £22 for a children's standing ticket. And what do you think of that? Because some people will defend it by saying, "Oh, we've got to pay the players." But I think if you're charging that much, you probably can't afford to be at this level. Like exactly. I don't know if you remember, Vauxhall Motors, they took a 5 league deduction, didn't they? Because they couldn't afford to stay at the National League North level.
With regards to Kings Lynn, if you look at when they released their season tickets, which was very quickly after the season was sort of called off and they were champions, then I think that would have told you a lot about the financial situation that we're in, because you can learn a lot about what the club's financial situation is when they release their season tickets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's very quick. Yeah.
it's an exact example of how unsustainable football is at the moment. You know, of what was it? Someone, and it might have been owner of a club, I'm not sure who it was, talking about how unsustainable the championship is. You know, the championship, I think people say the championship is the most unsustainable kind of league in football because the club's trying to get to the, you know, the holy grail of the Premier League. But I think even more so in non-league, people don't look at it enough. I mean, I feel quite strong about this, to be honest. Don't want to rant too much, but it's going to wreck the game. If, you know, parent taking 2 kids, how much would it cost? It was like 25 quid for adults, 22 quid for kids, wasn't it?
No,
So,
it was same price for adults and kids, but 22 was standing and 25 was seated, I think. So
Well, so
if you're taking 2 kids and you, it's 66 quid minimum. That's before anything like having a drink at the ground, having a pie or a burger or whatever. It's insane. You can go to championship games for cheaper, and it's like This may be harsh, Kings Lynn. Kings Lynn are not a bit. If we were charging that much, I would be fairly angry. But also, I feel like if it was us, you could be like, oh, it's Stockport, who are the biggest teams in the league. You know, got a good team.
Nah, I wouldn't be having that 66.
I wouldn't either. But you can sort of understand where it's coming from to be a higher price. But go to the championship or Kings Lynn. Unless you're a Kings Lynn fan, you're never going to get any.
Yeah, no, I think Kings Lynn fans are the only ones that will actually understand that decision.
Even some of them
they must know their financial situation.
Yeah, even some of them were saying it was too much.
I saw some. Yeah, you say that, but it shocked me. I mean, how many Kings Lynn fans? I think I saw 1 or 2, and that's too many, quite frankly. Below their post saying, well, I'm happy to pay this much because it's the first time I've seen them for ages. It's not like Kings Lynn have decided that there's going to be a pandemic, and then they've decided to bring the fans back in a massive bonanza, and they're going to have to charge them more. No, it's just coincidence, and they're being paid by the taxpayer. Well, actually, is it the taxpayer? It's the national lottery, I think, it's coming out of now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but so they're being paid by money that you know usually goes to charities, I think, in order to keep the running of their club. And that's great and everything. But then when you go and charge the community, which really is the reason they're getting funding, because football clubs are supposedly part of the community, and they're charging 60 quid for a family day out to the football. I mean, it's absolutely infuriating. If County did that, I'd be really annoyed.
Very angry.
You know, even at County, you know, when we go back to football and it'll, you know, full capacity again, I think it'll still be 18 quid for adults, at least this season. And that's 18 quid to go and see the beautiful new concourse, which is another thing to talk about, I suppose. You know, and to be in a good atmosphere. It's money-grabbing, absolute
Ludicrous.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Any other points, gentlemen?
Well, as Frank brought up, the new ground, I guess, layout.
Oh, the video.
Yeah, the video.
The video. Woo! That was magnificent. What they've done to that Cheadland, the Cheadland bar looks so.
The bar looks incredible.
I was amazed.
Round.
Wow, just wow.
When I saw.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. If you're watching the podcast, which you wouldn't expect, we know you're a busy man.
No.
Surely he can take time out of his day to watch it.
But I was honestly, before lockdown, I was onto the Cheadlands in the concourse. You know that it's iconic, that concourse. You've got well, maybe not iconic, but you get what I'm saying. You've got the carpet beneath, which is absolutely full to the brim with you know, fallen 1990s Carlsberg and you know, a bit of everything, a few cigarette butts, a bit of chewing gum, a few little
We get what you mean. Yeah,
There's
we get what you
probably,
mean.
probably some illegal substances in there. I would have.
Probably some
Well,
dodgy
obviously away
substance.
fans, no one does that in Stockport.
Yeah,
Obviously.
We're a clean community.
Right.
Very clean place.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's keep it clean. Message to all county fans, and we don't expect you to listen to us. But you know, we're not the powers above or anything like that. But it'd be nice if it didn't get ruined too quickly, because it looks very, very nice at the moment. I was amazed when I saw that. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't see weeks of them painting walls white, but I saw that. I mean, it looks like, it almost looks as nice as Birmingham Station. I don't go to Birmingham Station often. That's a bit of a weird point.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, all the signage and everything, you know.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your company.
I just have one point.
Go on, one more, go on.
Free MSH.
Oh my lord. To me, no, that is a point that should be discussed.
Yeah.
There's
Not
McCauley,
just the hashtag, but
no,
like,
no, but he must have done something to upset Jim to warrant.
I don't know if he has. I just think it's a tough one, because obviously we've only seen him play one game. Obviously, it might be two actually, yeah. But then obviously he had a personal issue. But then it's like, I feel bad for him. I feel like he's someone like Sam Walker was a few years ago.
I think
we knew how good he was, but he couldn't get in the team. Send him out on loan for a month.
McCauley could easily be either the next DeMeo or the next Sam Walker.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous balance, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's got to make a call quick.
Yeah.
If we paid money for him, Jim's not going to have paid money for him for nothing.
Yeah. Get him out on loan to whoever for a month or so. Unless obviously he's going to be in our team next game, but he wasn't even in the squad today. So you think, get him out on loan, get him match fit, and then, because we've seen in the little time we've seen him on the pitch, he's an excellent player. He'll be certainly be an asset to the team, but if he's not in the squad, it's a little pointless, isn't it? And could say the same about Gilmore, but I feel like he's been only just not.
Yeah, Gilmore's come back from injury, and he travelled with the team today.
Yeah, so he's slightly different because he's literally been injured. There has been a reason he's not played yet.
He did travel MSH, didn't he, today?
Yeah, he travelled.
Sam Burns said. So he's not. I don't know. I feel as though I can feel an injury coming. I hate to say it. I don't want to tempt fate, but I can feel an injury coming in the next 2
years. If we're going to be playing Saturday, Tuesday, there's going to be an injury coming. There's no way you can maintain a level of high quality fitness. Well, that's good with our depth of team, if you know what I mean.
2 injuries from last weekend, didn't we? You know, both Stott and Palmer were injured in. Well, I think Stott might have been injured playing Yeovil, maybe, but Palmer got an injury midweek in training, didn't he? So, but good thing is we've got a nice big squad, so it's all right. We'll be fine.
We can enjoy these times.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I'll try that outro once again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the 4th HattersChatters podcast. I've been Alex. That's been Kieran and Frank. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks for watching. See you later.
See you later. Bye.